A night of written arts and music about women's need for personal empowerment is not something you'd come across every day. But on the special day for women all over the world, there was such a night in Hanoi. In response to the international campaign #BeBoldForChange, the official theme of this year's International Women's Day, a group of foreign artists with the help of an NGO called Humanitarian Services for Children in Vietnam has organized an event in order to raise awareness about women empowerment and also raise funds for disadvantaged girls under the care of this organization.
But a friend of mine who works in HR
Poetry
says that we've changed and we want to be on the right side of history.
Stand-up comedy.
And my solution was, I have an imaginary boyfriend.
Open mic.
So I lived 2 hours.
What made this particular open mic night so special was the fact that all performances tackle sensitive topics surrounding women in modern times.
Thoughts and opinions and worldviews.
I see my stand-up comedy as a way to talk about a lot of different women's issues or like women's perspectives on things that we usually get male perspectives on. So women's sexuality, interests, the thoughts we have that we usually don't talk about, those kinds of things.
On a night dedicated to women, men were encouraged to take the mic.
That time you came at me with a pair of scissors. You squeezed my arm and you cut me with your nails. I probably pulled your hair and called you a whale. I read a poem about my sister. I'm part of a poetry collective where we have to write poetry about a specific theme. So I wrote a poem about if I had 24 hours to live and I would speak to my sister. It's about how much I love her.
Despite the small venue, the open mic still attracted a full house thanks to the diversity of performances and the topics they touch on.
That's so inspiring. I think as women we need this sort of support. I've got a lot of friends that have performed tonight as well, so I'm feeling pretty proud. They're so talented, pointing out really important values that we as women should think about and be, active in.
Nói chung là mình thấy là các bài thơ thì khá là hay vì nó xuất phát từ cái cảm xúc thật của các bạn ý. Và các bạn nữ thì rất là mạnh bạo và nói về các cái chủ đề khá là nhạy cảm so với nữ bên mình không nói ra, ví dụ như là về sex chẳng hạn, hoặc là về nữ quyền chẳng hạn, về phụ nữ chúng ta cần phải làm gì, đấu tranh cho những cái gì, về phấn đấu về sự nghiệp, tình yêu.
In addition to the stories and poetry, the event also had musical performances that heated up the night. Chief organizer of the event, Natasha Kovalenko, also performed. To celebrate this year's International Women's Day, she teamed up with Humanitarian Services for Children of Vietnam, or HSCV, to raise the public's awareness about women's issues through the spoken arts and to raise funds for disadvantaged girls currently living in HSCV Blossom House, a shelter for disadvantaged girls.
I'm an artist, and that's my friends. I thought I could make an event, and it's my way to celebrate, and it's a positive, fun event to also raise money for a really important charity for girls here in Vietnam. Well, it's just giving women a voice and celebrating the creative achievements of women. Two big problems that I think, education and domestic violence and making women safe, they need to be addressed.
The goal of the event is to increase the awareness of women and also specifically the needs of women in Vietnam and in Hanoi. There's a lot of things that happen to girls and women that are under the surface and people don't realize, or maybe they do realize and they don't actually want to talk about it. And after tonight, we hope to empower people, the men and the women at the event and far beyond the event, to take action.
It was a cozy night with poetry and music, but for these performing artists, it was much more than that. Through their performances, they not only managed to call attention to issues surrounding women nowadays, but their efforts have also helped support the lives of disadvantaged girls in Vietnam.
And that also wraps up our program for this week. If you would like to provide any feedback or comment on anything you see here on Culture Mosaic, please feel free to write to us at vtvinternational@vtv.vn and make sure to include both your name and address. You can also log on to our website at vtv4.vn or our YouTube channel at VTV4Go for more of our programs. And don't forget to join us next week for another episode of Culture Mosaic. Until then, goodbye for now.